All right, what's up, Dragon Brood? Today we're going to try to play one of the new dragons from Strixhaven, and we're going to just hop in there with Witherbloom the Balancer. Now, that does mean we have to play a lot of small creatures, and we'll see if we get any discounts from the spells, but this should be a fun deck because we also get to play with some other new cards. So we're going to start at the top with some Infestation Sage, mostly because when this dies, it does make a 1/1 insect that can benefit from some other cards we're going to talk about in a second. But most importantly, when it dies, it leaves a creature behind for us to keep it to where we can keep getting that discount toward our Witherbloom. We do have some Requiting Hex just as a catch-all, but the cool part here is sometimes you can actually go ahead and blight one of your pests and gain some life, and that could help in this deck. We have Blitterboom Bear, which just makes more bodies, and it does have Flash, which is super nice. We have a couple of Deep Cavern Bats, does get some life, can slow our opponent's hand down. We're going to play 3 copies of Send in the Pest. Now, it's just kind of a generic discard spell, but it does cost your opponent a card and make you a 1/1 pest, so not a bad card overall. We do get to also play with Strategic Betrayal to deal with opposing graveyards. In Teacher's Pest, this is a fun one, so whenever it dies, you return it to the battlefield, and there's a couple of ways we could work with this, but most importantly, whenever it attacks, we gain life, and it does have Menace. Witherbloom Charm. This is great when you want to draw cards, because you can just sacrifice a pest and get 2 cards, but also gain life in a pinch, and you can destroy permanents, non-land permanents specifically, that cost 2 or less. Blech is the card that really matters here because of all these things where we're making pest and we're gaining life. Obviously, we could pump all those things up, which could actually be pretty cool because there's going to be sometimes we attack and we're going to gain life several times in one attack step. And then Cauldron of Essence. We're only playing 2 copies. I do feel like this deck probably needs a third, but I just don't know where I would squeeze that in right now. But it feels like a pretty important card to this list, so we'll see how it plays out in our games. Of course, we have Essence Knit Scholar. Say it, of course, like we all know what this card is, but it's a 3 mana, 3/1. When it enters, you get a 1/1 pest. And at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died under your control this turn, you get to draw a card. So it's another way we could draw cards, while again, sacrificing our own things, attacking with pests that die, whatever the case may be. And then 3 copies of Maelstrom Pulse, which, to be fair, we could probably cut 1 Maelstrom Pulse and use that as the space to put another Cauldron of Essence. But for now, I want to leave these in because I think there's enough loots running around that we may need to destroy those, but we'll see. Then there's some Emeritus of Woe, so we can just go Demonic Tutor up whatever we want later in the game, which is nice. 1 Tragedy Feaster, which is just a big 7/6 with Trample and Ward if your opponent has a discard card. However, we have to sacrifice something unless we gain life. We're probably going to be gaining life, but even if we don't, we probably just get rid of Pastor like Infestation Sage or something. And then we have both of the Paradigm cards. We have 1 copy of Decorum Dissertation, 1 copy of Germination Practicum. Decorum, obviously good because we can just draw extra cards and we should have plenty of life, but Practicum also just pumps all our creatures, right? All these bonus creatures we're making helps us just end the game sooner. And then, of course, Witherbloom the Balancer. Hopefully, we're not paying more than 4 for this because we have all those things that make tokens, but also could make our Practicums cheaper or Dissertations, I guess our Paradigm cards, whenever we get to them. So yeah, that's a lot of stuff to cover, but before we get into all that, remember, if you want to buy any Strixhaven stuff, or anything for that matter, bling out your commander decks or whatever the case is, check out our friends over at Tales of Adventure. It's toamagic.com. The main reason is because you can get 5% off all of your magic stuff over there, and all you have to do is use my code DRAGON. It's DRAGN. But okay, that bit of business is done. Let's go hop into some games and see if we actually get to cast Witherbloom, and if it's any good. Sure. Why not? All right, let's get a little pest down and see what we can do. A Hired Claw? Sure. Wow, Hired Claw and nothing. All right, well, life gain against a red-based deck is probably good. You're going to have to get rid of our Teacher's Pests. Exactly, because they're like, I can't let you gain life, boss. I mean, that's still the same play. Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't matter if we do it then or now. All right, let's hope they don't have a 4 damage spell. If they do, these turns are going to hurt just a little bit more than we want them to. Is this a shelter? Oh, this is going to be so good if it's a shelter. Because I was going to say, I could target the other one that doesn't have the shelter, and we'd be able to get rid of both of them. Oh, but they didn't have it. Okay. Well, that's interesting. What if their plan is block, then shoot this for 2? We could make it a 5. But they left extra mana open. All right, I think we just got to go for it. Would have been cooler if they would have had the shelter on one of them, but, you know, can't always get what we want. All right. There's a war leader's call, so now it's time for us to start gaining life, or else that's going to hurt quite a bit. Let's start with making a duder. Maybe? We kind of need to keep this too, because there's a chance they just play O'Hare Ashenel next turn. That would be kind of brutal. All right, end the turn. How did we know that was coming? Yeah, we'll take 5. It's all good. We're going to gain enough life to not care, so we'll be fine. Though these decks have been this version has been very popular lately. Then we'll attack, gain a couple of bits of life, and hit for a whole lot of damage. Actually, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If we gain... Is that 12, 13, 14? Because these are all pests? Ooh, let's gain 5. Think that's lethal. Hell yeah. Alright, so this is like the earliest I've given up on a deck. I played like 8 or 9 games with, and they were all felt bad. Even the couple that we won were not great. So I'm not even going to bother showing all of those, obviously. But what I think is, let's just see if we can go harder on Blech and Witherbloom and the Essence Cauldron, and let's just go nuts with this. Let's just focus as hard as we can. Let's Meredith Woe out of here. Tragedy Feaster out of here. We're going to try to draw our cards off the Scholar. Scholar just says if something died, right? Is that the thing? Yeah, if a creature died. So that's what we're going to go. We're going to probably... Man, Sin in the Pest was not great. I thought it was going to be better than it was, truthfully. It just was not there. So we have 3 Maelstrom Pulse, 2 Strategic Betrayal, and the Requiting Hex. The problem here is if we go... I guess we cut the Decorum and the Dissertation or whatever, and we're going to try to kill the opponents with Cauldrons now, I guess is the game plan. I don't know. Cut a Bitterbloom Bear. And we still have 2 Witherbloom Charms. What if we cut 1 Pest? We have a lot at 3, though. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. All right. What if we go... I know people are going to hate this, but what if... I don't know. Can we get away with just 3, 4? I guess we have to have the full 4 Infestation Sage, or it doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Huh. How many creatures am I leaving us with right now? 22. I want to add 3 more. So let's go Badger Mole. Because it does make a body and help out. And maybe we're just going, hey, we're not going to worry about spells. We're just going to try to hit Witherblooms. And let's see what's up. Okay, sure. I also think maybe I'm supposed to cut the slow lands, because we have so many things we need to play on turn 2. But I don't know. Maybe it's fine. Don't want to overthink stuff too much at this stage. Let's go ahead and drop the hammer with a Deep Cavern Bat, see what the opponent's holding. Ashling. Okay, well, we'll just take that, obviously. That's the concern. And now we're going to try to get creatures as big as possible, as fast as possible. You didn't play anything. So what was the unknown card you drew? We don't know this answer. Is it a counter? It is not. Okay, they just didn't want to use... I thought they were going to play Wistfulness to draw cards, but that is the other mode, right? Yeah, draw 2, discard. They chose not to, for whatever reason. So the strategic betrayals will hopefully get to do a lot of work. Gonna off our Deep Cavern Bat. Reasonable. You know what? We can live with that exchange. There's a chance they go land Roaming Throne and just eat their whole turn. Which, if so, we're alright with that. Try to set up some extra value. Nope, they're going to go for Ashland immediately. Okay. Nothing to get rid of a teacher's pet? No. Excellent for us. As much as I would love to have another land, that did not happen. Alright, go attacking. Alright, opponent's at 8. Down to 6. Wistfulness. That's going to be ball game. So yeah, just a couple other removal spells was all we needed in this one. Alright, well, Strategic Betrayal. And then we'll get our attack on and that'll do it. Alright, cool. Alright, I guess we're keeping it. Oh boy. Virulent Emissary. Did not expect to see them cast that. Oh, we're just doing Elves. Nice. Well, hopefully our life gain matters. Ooh, that's a good one to take. All right. That'll make things hurt a little less for a moment. Yeah, sure, no blocks. We have to take 2, but seems worth it. So let's... Badger Mole. I don't know if I want to Mole into Mole, because we're really only going to be playing Blex, so let's make sure there's nothing crazy else in there. Probably just another land. That's what I thought. But... life gain does matter in this particular race. And we can Badger Mole into a black attack, pump our black a couple times, and hopefully that helps. Oh, did they find a fight spell? That's what it feels like the pause is here. If they did find a fight spell, this is rough, because them getting back Tyvar could be bad. So I'm pretty sure Tyvar... oh, it doesn't give trample, but it does give them larger power. Okay, what's up? Though, there is a possibility they're afraid of Badger Mole Cub, and then they opt to just use the Emissary to deal damage to a Badger Mole. Which I could see that, because of Death Touch. So the opponent is there. They've highlighted their cards a couple times, looked at our stuff, and now they're just letting it rope, which is fine. They're maximizing the rope by going to the yard, so we'll be sure to report Gorilla when we're done. Sure, we're okay with this. Let's go ahead and Cub. Turn that land on. Let's play a black. Let's attack. Pump some things. End the turn. So yeah, as it turns out, taking the Tyvar was the best thing. That was their only real threat. I think we could have outraced the Tyvar, potentially. But this makes it where we didn't even have to worry about it. And then, of course, we are just going to attack with all of it because we have another Blech anyway. Actually, not even. Because you never know. Opponents might do something silly. Alright. I have seen people do the thing where they like rope and then try to get you to attack or target something or whatever based on what's on board. And then they have a play, which is so dumb. But that's going to do it anyway. You know what, y'all? We're not often we do 2 mid-video updates. But I was just thinking, like, what if we just played some Maseo in here? Right? That feels like that could work. So what if we cut a Blech? Obviously, Blech's a good card, right? But what if we cut 1? And we cut 1 Scholar. Scholar is one of our only ways to get cards, though. Oh, Moseo. Want a couple of these, because this does generate a pest and let us get stuff back from the yard. And maybe that's just good enough to do. Maybe we cut 1 Witherbloom, so now we're down to 1. And we just call it there. Maybe that's good. No, because now I kind of want another Blech. Man. This is so hard. Oh, jeez. Though now that we're lesser on Witherbloom, maybe we're at the point we don't need... we just want more mana. What if we just don't need Bitterbloom Bears? We go up a Badgermole, and then that's where we set stuff. And maybe that's where we're okay? I don't know. Let's try this and see what happens. Okay, sure. Why not? I think we're going to bat on 2. And then we'll figure out what to do with the Badgermole later. Alright. Opponent mulliganed once, it looks like. Alright, let's get some information. What are you doing? Oh, it's that. Alright, I'm going to take an aerialist from you. Need a removal spell badly. Because we'd love to get rid of this. A Requiting Hex would be obviously the choice. But we'll see. Alright, Requiting Hex off the top. That was not it. And, oh man, this did not go well. Okay. Well, we'll attack. Play a cub. Turn this into a creature. Play pest. I mean, we can cast a Witherbloom next turn, so that's something. I don't know if it's a good something, but it's a something. Yep. Sounds good. Oh, and they left it on top, whatever it is. That's usually bad. Okay, well. I guess this is our only real plan. I mean, I'm assuming it's shelter or something, because they would probably originally were going to get rid of a Badgermole cub. Now they're going to get rid of the Witherbloom. Oh, no. Okay. That could have been worse, I guess. Nothing else? Oh, they're checking it out, going like, oh yeah, it's 5/5 with Death Touch. That's a thing. Still, a Requiting Hex would be pretty strong here, so we could attack through. Actually, any of our, like, targeted removal would be good. That is not the targeted removal we were speaking about. But alright, still cost them a guy. They just lose their 2/1. I mean, we could attack with Witherbloom. I mean, I guess it's a thing. All right. Now, I will say, had we drawn Blech, that would be a thing we want. For sure. All right, they found something else. This the shelter turn? Oh, it's Feather Flight. All right. Play the other spell book? Sure. All right, still. Removal would still be very good, deck. Can you make that happen? Well, whatever it is, they left it on top, so that's bad. All right. What can you do for us? That is a whole lot of nothing is what that is. And I don't even have anything cool to get out of my yard. Ugh. Yep, sadly, this is one I feel like we're losing just because we just didn't draw anything relevant. We just drew a bunch of dudes, no removal against the creature heavy deck. But I have to assume that's a shelter or something that pumps your creature or whatever. Yeah, exactly. So that wasn't going to go well for us anyway. Sure. You got it. So here's the thing. Are we trying to trade Witherbloom for the flying 4/4? Because that sort of feels like what we want to do. I mean, I can get Witherbloom back. So why not, really? Trying to think what I want to block with and how much mana I need. Because I could block with like one cub. Like we could block like this. So we block. Oh crap. I didn't get to. Oh well. I wanted to tap for some more mana before all that went down. But I guess Arena just says, F that idea. Alright, opponent does go to 8, mind you. Because of the Cauldron. Maelstrom Pulse. That's the hit. Alright, let's do it. Yes, and I will pay. And then that lets us get rid of the other one without targeting it, which is fantastic. We will attack. Ooh, boy. Oh, that was close. Shelter incoming? Nope, Seam Rip. You got it. This is just if it's tapped, it has to have exile what? As long as there are 3 or more cards under it. Yeah, sure, we'll just take it. You got it. Oh, Badger Mole's interesting. Alright, so we're going to attack with 2 of these. Actually, hold up. Maybe I only attack with just 1, because I could tap 3, get back a Badger Mole. I guess it doesn't really do enough. Alright, just get in with the 1, 2 of them. Yeah, that makes sense. And then we'll cost them another point of life, return a Badger Mole Cub. Sacking a land, the land comes back. In the turn. Man, Cauldron's trying. Cauldron with Badger Mole and Pet is pretty sick because you can sack things and just keep the board going. Steel Armor, you got it? I mean, block or don't, we still are good here. Yeah, I'll just block for sport. I mean, I say sport, but we do still actually drain them for one. Yep, and a taxis. Wow. Wow. No lies. I thought there was a point in this where we were just going to get so far behind, but that one Maelstrom Pulse shifted everything. That was so big. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Make sure we play our lands in the right order. Because, man, you can get tripped up now because you have lands that need to be played first and ones you need to be played later. And it's a whole mess. Ew. Oh, if we leave them with the Soul Searches, what would they even take? You'd probably take a Blech, right? So I'm going to take the Unholy Annex. And, like, they can just discard cards from our hand. I think we're okay with that. Wow, they didn't take Blech? Oh my gosh, what happened? Well, we're going to lose the Scholar now, I have to assume, right? Terminus. Sure. You got it. Okay. Don't think this matters a lot, but hey, damage is damage right now, so we'll take it. All right, cool. Woo, woo. All right, let's keep it. We have cards to play. We already have 4 land. Hopefully we don't see too many more. We need to draw actual spells. Also, how good is Deep Cavern Bat? They're like, you know, getting close to the end of its time in Standard, and we're still rocking that card. Such crazy times. Okay, let's try a Deep Cavern Bat. It does resolve. You have a Get Lost, a Day of Judgment, and you'd have to find another land. I mean, all right, we'll just assume you're going to hit the Day of Judgment at some point. So I think we wait on Blech if possible. Yep. Because, I mean, they're going to be able to search minimum to find the land they need. Unless they just magically miss somehow. But I can't imagine that's going to be the thing. Ooh. You know, I'm not mad at that. So if we play a land next turn, we would be able to play Badger Mole plus Blech. All right, I'm in. I mean, I don't think we're going to win with this hand from where we're at, but, you know. Cool. We get a token back. We get to drain them for a couple of points. Oh, hold up. And we got another Deep Cavern Bat. Huh. Well, we're going to play Badger Mole Cub anyway. Now it's just, are we on Blech? Or are we... I think we're just on Bat. Sure. So Cauldron would let us get rid of a creature to keep getting bats back to be annoying to the opponent. which is kind of silly, but, you know, you do what you got to do. I think the plan, though, might just be keep getting back Infestation Sage so that we always have something to sacrifice. The opponent is also just at 8, though, right? That's another thing. All right, so they're going to split up. Sure. And then go down to 8. Or go to 6, actually. Okay, so how do we want to deal with this? We attack, they go to 4. Then we can sack something, get back a bat, but then they could just kill the bat. Huh. I think we just attack. And then the real decision really is on just... if we get Infestation Sage, do they just target it now and give us the maps? Maybe? All right, sure. So they'll go to 3. If they kill a creature, they go down to 2 anyway, so that's still a real thing. Which is why I considered getting a Badger Mole Cub. Because I thought, okay, I get 2 bodies automatically, and then maybe that's what I should have done. Yeah, I should have got Badger Mole Cub, because then if they just sweep the board... I guess it doesn't matter, because if they sweep the board here anyway, we're left with the token, and then we just sack it. So, I mean, I guess we're fine. No, they got rid of Cauldron. Gosh dang it. Okay, well, I guess I'll just play my Blech. So it wouldn't have mattered if we got Badger Mole or not, actually. As it turns out. That would have been worse for us. You got it. All right, well, we're probably not winning from here now. I mean, obviously, we already knew that was over there. All right. Can't really use Maelstrom Pulse on their map because it would get rid of our maps, so that's just a bad idea. No good for business. Why couldn't I just had 2 Cauldrons in play earlier? That was what we really needed. All right, more lands for the opponents. I will attempt to target this with a map. I will attempt to target the Sage with a map. All right, sure. So we've gone land, Sage, land. I think was the last exchange there of the draws. So that's tough. And our Maelstrom Pulse doesn't do anything in this match unless they play a Planeswalker for the most part. Maybe if we can get them to block with their creature land, maybe we could resolve a Maelstrom Pulse. Get rid of both their anchorages or something. That's probably like the best we could hope for. At this point, I'm assuming they have 3 steps ahead, though, if I were guessing. God, and another land. Jeez. All right, well, is what it is. Hey, Get Lost is actually kind of helpful. Strategic Betrayal doesn't do anything. Oh my gosh. So we went land, Sage, land, Betrayal, land. We can't win like that, y'all. Like, that's just one where we just gotta give it up. We have as much land as the opponent who's playing a control deck and has drawn extra cards. Right? They've got now 3, 6, 9. We also have 3, 6, 7, 8, and 2 in hand. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's over. I guess some very strange thing could happen, but they've been keeping a card the whole time alongside their deadly cover-up, and they left mana up, so I have to assume that's what it is. Yeah, Ultima, sure. I mean, that's literally the only thing I can think of that, you know, they're going to counter. Hey, look, we found something. Oh my gosh, this could be good. Oh, wait, they turned that into a creature? Oh, we're going to get what we want out of this. Fantastic. All right, so they did it to where we don't even have to attack and lose our guy. So no attack. They should have waited until we already declared attackers. Oh, because this would be non-land. Oh, no. It doesn't even work. Never mind. I thought we had a thought. Oh, well, we had a thought. It was just a bad thought. So that didn't help. I was just thinking creature like when we use a get lost or whatever, but unfortunately that does not work the same way. All right, so what are we looking for here? Like a Cauldron of Essence? So that we attack, they kill something, block something, I don't know. That feels like the play. Because if they counter the Cauldron, then we attack, put them... Well, yeah, if they counter, they just die. That wouldn't really be it. Opponent, are you leaving up another removal spell? Because if not, that's insane. All right, I'm going to assume they have a road or something, or they're just going to... How are we going to win this? There has to be something else there, right? Yeah, we'll try the Essence Cauldron. It resolves. Opponent just saying GG. All right, cool. How, I don't know, but here we are. I'll take it, I guess. Yeah, I feel like we should not have won that game. Something just didn't go right. I don't know if the opponent was too quick on the trigger on a couple of things, but I mean, that happens. That's Magic. You win those, cool. But I feel like opponents still had a real shot at winning that. Though, once we landed the Cauldron of Essence, things do get a little bit easier. But let's talk about this deck, because I think there's a lot to break down here. All right, so this was a little weird because we ended up not seeing the Maceos after we had them in. And I was so excited to have those as part of the deck. Actually, had we even had Maceos against the control deck at the end, that would have been nice, right? Returning stuff, whatever, would have been good. Here's the reality about this deck, though, and I think this is a real part of the conversation, is while you are making a lot of pest tokens and various things that can work with Blech, I don't think necessarily that Blech and Witherbloom play in the same type of decks. And what I mean by that is, I think if we were going to play Witherbloom, I would rather play it in a black-green deck where I'm playing like Elves and Badger Moles and stuff early. And then I have some X spells, whether that's stuff like Nature's Rhythm, where we can search for something, or Exsanguinate, where we can drain our opponent's life total. But things that we can spend that extra mana on that we're getting from those mana creatures early, or when we have Witherbloom out. This deck, I think while it's neat, we can just get a Witherbloom early, but it's like, even when we had a couple copies in the paradigms, it just didn't line up correctly for whatever reason. So I would say just cut the Witherbloom altogether from this list and then just play it as is. As we saw in those final games, like, the deck worked great. Matter of fact, I almost wanted 4 Cauldron of Essence. Like, because if you can start cycling Badger Mole Cubs or Infestation Sages, you're just like, okay, I'm just going to keep getting more and more bodies. And as they die to various things, your opponent just loses life, you know? So I think that's a real thing. that's something to consider. And again, if we'd have had Maseo, that's another way to get things back on the battlefield. You know, and you have just enough life gain, right? Between the Deep Cavern Bats, the Maseo being able to make a pest that can attack, the Scholar makes a pest that can attack. You can gain life off of the Witherbloom charm. The Teacher's Pest also attacks and gains life and comes back from the yard and does all the stuff with the soul, Cauldron of Essence. So yeah, I think this is fine as is. I think where we started was not great. That's why we test things. But I think ultimately this is where you want to be. But if you're still interested in seeing a full-on Witherbloom deck, let me know. We'll probably build another Witherbloom, the Balancer deck, in a couple of days and tackle that, you know, when the time comes. But for now, this is actually a pretty decent Blech deck if you want to play that. And we had a good time with it. So yeah, took us a while to get there, but sometimes it's just how it goes. But that's all of you for now. We'll see you next time.